Here's something pretty rare. It's a 2003 Volkswagen Passat W8 wagon. The Passat W8 was kind of the predecessor to the Volkswagen Phaeton and the Touareg here in the US, in that it was an attempt at a super premium Volkswagen offering, which didn't really go over super well here in the US, where Volkswagen is generally viewed as more of an economy car brand. The W8 Passat was sold here from the 2002 to 2004 model years, and roughly just under 5,000 were sold. Now, both sedan and wagon variants were offered, but the sedan was far more common. I think only about 1,200 wagons were sold in the US, and I have the real numbers, but I'm just using rough figures. But yeah, it's about 1,200 wagons were sold in the US, and only about 100 wagons were sold in the US with a manual. This one does not have a manual transmission, but it is obviously a wagon. I've actually seen a Passat W8 wagon with a manual here in Salt Lake City before, but super rare given that only about 100 of them were made. Still, most of these things I have to think are in junkyards by now. Reliability, as with most Volkswagen products, is pretty poor, especially Volkswagen products out of the early 2000s, and especially Volkswagen products out of the early 2000s with complicated, uniquely designed, we'll say, 8-cylinder engines. You can see the W8 badge on this one has fallen off, but you can still see the shadow there. I know these came with unique wheels. This was kind of supposed to be a 5 Series competitor, supposed to be, but it didn't really get that far. But yeah, they usually came with nicer wheels. These are aftermarket wheels that look like to have been painted, I think. Aftermarket or just Volkswagen accessory wheels, but windows are tinted, pretty decent wear and tear. It's a 15-year-old Volkswagen. But these had nicer headlights too. I guess they're probably just HID headlights as opposed to old school halogens that you got on the regular lesser Passats from the era. But pretty rare sighting. I will note that it is parked just down the block from a Volkswagen Audi German car repair shop that I have to think is just so overrun with broken down European cars that they have nowhere else to park this thing but a block and a half away from their garage. Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence. But anyway, yeah, always a reason for pause anytime you see a Passat W8, let alone a Passat W8 wagon.